Hi there, my name is Eli and welcome back to my channel, Draculisha. And in today's video, I want to customize my Skulltimate Secrets Series 4 Abbey Bominable dolls. So on the left is the original doll that came with Skulltimate Secrets Series 4, and then on the right is the extra core Abbey that I rerooted to don her second outfit. And I love Abbey so much. It's just sad that she keeps getting polypropylene hair. So we are going to redo her hair today with some nice high quality nylon hair. Her color blend is pretty simple. There's just this predominantly like blue color. I don't know how to describe it. Kind of like a cornflower blue is how I would probably describe it. And then she has some white streaks in the front, just a tiny bit of white with some tinsel throughout. And then I did buy some hair from Dolly Hair. I got two hair colors. I got that blue color. Now, the color that I selected is a little bit off, as you can see. I ordered a custom color blend with 80% Blue Moon and then 20% Arctic Frost. And you can see like the streaks of the lighter blue throughout, but it didn't line it enough to my taste. So I might try to fix that so it's just a little bit lighter and a little bit more true to Abby's original color, but this is a pretty good start. This is a good start. And I ordered this in the Barbie long size, so it was like $15, and you get enough hair to reroot a Monster High doll, so pretty cool. And then for the white streaks, I ordered it in the My Little Pony size because it's a little bit of a smaller quantity, and the hair comes extra long because it's intended for My Little Ponies. But if you cut that hank in half, you end up with like the correct hair length that you need for Monster High dolls. And it's a nice way if you only want to order a small quantity of hair, like in this case for Abby, just because she has the smallest amount of white hair. I didn't need as much of it as I did for that blue color. So I was able to order a smaller quantity, and it was a pretty cool option. You just have to be pretty savvy with that. And for this color blend, I ordered 50% oyster shell and then 50% white witch. Oyster shell is kind of like a purple leaning white tone, and then white witch is kind of like a stark white. Like it's not a pure white, it's kind of an off white a little bit. And I think these colors blended look so pretty. It might not be like 100% perfect of a color match, but that's fine. And I have a game plan today, okay? I have a game plan for this hair, so I'll explain that later in order to fix the color blends, but we'll get there. And then I might just like touch up her accessories here and there, you know, customize and add some paint details to her boots, her chest plate, her gloves, definitely her headset. But I want to give Abby the TLC and love that she deserves, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's begin customizing Miss Abbey Bominable. So first off, I am cutting off all of her low quality polypropylene hair. Now for today's video, I'm actually like tying it up and keeping that little section of hair just because I want to reference this color later on and like get a better color match with the nylon hair that I bought. So I don't normally do that, like keep it and set it aside, but for today I am. And then I'll take a flathead screwdriver and use that to carefully scrape out all of the hair. And I'm scraping it and it's just gonna sit inside of the doll's head. And then once all of the hair is scraped out, we can then pull out the hair from inside the head. And I just use some tweezers. You can use some like needle nose pliers, it really doesn't matter. And once you have all of the hair out, you can move on to the next step. This is also pretty satisfying to just like see all the hair come out. I always have fun doing this step in particular. And now I'm going to dunk Abby's head in some boiling hot water so I can kind of tighten up those holes. And it basically makes the hair stick in a little bit more snug when you go into reroot. I find it to be very helpful, so I like to do that. And I'm also doing something different today. I am adding some glitter to Abby's horns. I really like Abby's horns, but both of her dolls have had polypropylene, which tends to be very like poofy, and so you don't always see the horns that well. And since I'm doing a reroot and I'm customizing her, I like to just go the extra mile and do something fun and silly. So I'm doing some glitter horns, and I'm doing 2 layers of glitter. There you can see for the second layer, I go very careful and try to like glide and tap the second layer of Mod Podge over. And this process is really easy. It's just Mod Podge, and then I work in small sections. I just pour the glitter over the Mod Podge, and voila, it's that easy. And here you can see me putting the glitter back in the canister. You know, glitter is messy. It's not fun to work with because it gets everywhere and it can just be a headache, but the payoff is so good. And Abby's horns are kind of like an ombre design almost. I wanted them to look like snow-capped mountains, so that's what I went for. In the end, with the hair fully rerooted, you really can't see the blue at the base of the horn. You really only see the white peeking through, but I still really like this conceptually, so I did it and it was fun. And then after all the glitter is on both horns, I'm going to seal it with some glossy varnish. And I think I did like 2 or 3 coats of this, and I let it dry maybe for like an hour in between each coat, just so, the glitter was really, really sealed in there. Okay, now moving on to the main attraction, the Reroot. So I haven't done that many reroots using nylon hair. I typically use saran because that's what, Monster High does. But I do like nylon every now and then because of the color range it offers. So that's what I went with today for Miss Abbey Bominable. And the reason I did that is because unlike my previous rerooting, projects for Skulltimate Secrets like Viridescent and Neon Frights, where I was kind of putting my own spin on my reroots, for Skulltimate Secrets Monster Mysteries, I kind of want to replicate the original polypropylene hair blend as closely as I can. So that's why I picked these colors out in nylon, and I'm starting off with the white hair. And Abby has this little money piece in her center part, so that's what I'm starting off with. I did add tinsel as well, and this is my favorite tinsel. I got it off Amazon. I will link it in my bio. It is not an affiliate link, just there for your help if you want to reference it and use it for your own projects, but it's that really nice kind of beaded tinsel that sometimes they use on Monster High dolls, like the Pre-Production Abbey had this tinsel, so yeah, I love this tinsel. But my advice to you is do not brush through this hair with this tinsel with a fine tooth comb. You will snag the tinsel and it will be a hot mess, so keep that in mind. And the reason I did the white section first is because I want to take the leftover white hair that I have and blend it into this blue hair. Now this blue hair is a custom color blend. It is 20% Arctic Frost and 80% Blue Moon, but it is still too dark in my opinion. I don't know, it's not light enough and it just doesn't look right. So I'm sectioning out a little bit of blue hair, setting that aside just so I can kind of fix the ratios of the hair, and then I'm adding in the leftover white hair that I had. And I'm hoping that by adding in this white hair, I can lighten this blue just a little bit, maybe make it a little bit more frosty, and it does work out. It does work out in the end, but blending hair, in my opinion, is just very difficult. So I'm showing you how I did it, but I still don't think I'm like great at it. So, you can take this little section right here with a grain of salt as far as like my advice. I kind of twist and fold the hair over itself, and then I move the position of my hand and then brush it out very, very delicately. And I just keep repeating this process until I get a nice smooth color blend. You can do a chunky color blend if that's what you're looking for, but I want it to be very smooth, like it's just one brand new color. And the downside to doing a color blend like this by hand is you can shift the hair length by brushing it out like this. So when you go to reroot, when you section out your plugs, sometimes the hair can be uneven and it's just a headache. So there are caveats to this, but for today, I really wanted, a better color match. So for me, it was worth it. There you can see the end results, and I think it looks pretty good. It's not one-to-one, 100% perfect match to Abby's original hair, but nylon, like high quality nylon, and then polypropylene do have different properties about them, so it'll never look like that perfect. So I think I did a pretty good job today. I think I did okay. Now on to rerooting the rest of Abby's hair. Her hair is just going to be this blue color for the rest of it, so it's pretty easy, no intricate like placement of the hair, pretty simple. I'm just going to take this blue color and go in and cover the rest of Abby's head. Now, for her part line, I will also be adding tinsel. I didn't capture that on video, but when you see her later, you'll see that there's tinsel only in her center part. And I section out hair, I lay the plugs down, and I learned a trick where if you lay the plugs down on like a dish towel or something, you're gonna have a lot easier of a time picking the hair up because there's a lot more friction on the surface versus if you were to just lay these plugs of hair on like a regular desk or table, that surface is really slippery and it will be a little bit more difficult for you to pick up your hair, number one. Number two, the other thing I learned in this reroot is that for nylon compared to saran hair, you want to section out your plugs just a little bit thicker. So when I do my saran reroots, I've really honed the craft of like figuring out how much hair each plug should have. And if I do that same amount of density in nylon, it doesn't work out in the end. Like after everything is said and done, you set the hair with boiling hot water and the hair dries, it just feels a little bit bald and sparse. Like my two Frankie nylon reroots, they're pretty, don't get me wrong, but they just feel like they don't have a lot of hair on their head. So with nylon, you want to section out your plugs just a tad bit thicker, and it might feel like you're taking and pulling too much hair, and it might seem like, oh, this is a bad idea, but trust me. Make your nylon plugs just a little bit thicker than you would with saran, and then by the end of everything, when it is all said and done, your doll will have like the perfect amount of hair on their head. So that's my new advice for this video. Other than that, it's pretty standard, plug and chug, section out hair, rinse and repeat, do this over again until you're finished. This reroot, by the way, took me 3 weeks to finish, which is a little bit long in my terms. I like to get it done in like a week and a half and really just like push through it. But, I had a trip to Portland and just other things come up in my life, so that's fine. Customizing like this, I'm always kind of working on something like a customizing project on the back burner. So she got done eventually. Okay, I'm about to reattach Abby to her body. There you can see before I've done it, this is what the hair looks like. You can notice that it's still very puffy, right? Look at the hair. It's very puffy out of the scalp. I feel like I see people do reroots, right? And then they don't boil wash the hair and like set the hair properly. And it just doesn't look right. So when you have this puffiness, you need to pour some hot water on the doll and set the hair so it lays flat against the scalp, and it'll make your reroot look 1,000 times better. And I just say this because, if you're going through all this effort to do a reroot and insert hair one by one, plug by plug, you don't want to like not mess up, but you don't want to like finish the project all the way through. You want it to look a certain way. So go the extra mile, give the doll a boil wash. It will be worth it. So let's go ahead and do that right now so I can show you the difference. So remember now, this is what we're working with. Later, hopefully, fingers crossed, she looks a lot better once her hair is set. So let's go. So as you saw, Abby's hair previously after the reroot was puffy, but this process will help set it and make it look perfect. So pretty standard process. I'm going to take some dish soap. I always refer to it as like I'm going to wash with shampoo, but I'm really just using, dish soap. And then I rinse out the dish soap, and then I'll add some conditioner, work it throughout the doll's hair, and then I actually pour the boiling hot water over the hair while it still has the conditioner in it. I just think it kind of helps add like a protective layer to the hair against the heat. And then here I accidentally freaking spill the hot water. At least it fell into the sink, but my arm hit it, so that was scary. So be careful. Do not burn yourself. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of like trying to get 2 things done in one, and I am pouring hot water over Abby's head so it's squishy and I can just reattach it to the body, and voila. Now all this needs is to dry and we are good to go. Now, for the customizing aspect of this project, I'm trying to keep it pretty light-handed because I feel like this doll is already pretty detailed, but I'll go over all of the changes that I made to Abby's fashion and accessories. So first off, I am flocking some accessories. I have this white flocking powder that I got off Amazon a couple years ago, and I just thought it would look nice on Abby since she's very wintry, she's an abominable snowman. Why not add some flocking powder? So I just take some Mod Podge, apply it in small layers, and then kind of just take this flat paintbrush and scoop the hair over top the Mod Podge. I'll even take the flat brush and just kind of like press the flocking powder into the Mod Podge to really make sure that it's nice and secure. And I do 2 layers of this just so it's nice and opaque. The end results are still a little patchy in some spots, but it's fine. Maybe if I painted this white before adding the flocking powder, but I didn't. I just went and added the flocking powder, and I'm adding it to her headset because, her headphones, I want them to kind of look like earmuffs. So that was the thought process with this one. And I think I also add some flocking powder to her gloves because her gloves also have this like fur trim to them. So I decided to do it on those 2 elements. In the end, I'm like, it turned out okay. It's not my favorite, but I do think it's fun when you're doing customizing to play with different types of like textures and finishes. So I like the flocking texture. I know for some people it is like a sensory nightmare. So if you're one of those people and you hate this texture of like a fuzzy flocked feeling, you can totally opt out of this. It's your doll. Do whatever you want when you decide to customize your dolls. This would also look good if you just did like some paint detail over it too. So, you know, there's lots of options here. Lots and lots of options. Now the flocking's done, I'll move on to painting some accessories. So I decided kind of to really use white as an accent color for this project because a lot of the plastic pieces are this kind of metallic blue, and the chest plate has already some like blue accent paint details as well. So I thought white would look nice for Abbey because her gloves are white and that color kind of came out of nowhere. So that's what I decided to do today. And I'm using like a model making white paint. It's very high quality, a little bit more expensive than standard acrylic paint that you get at like the craft store, you know, but it's a lot better in quality. Like the first coat is super opaque, which is amazing, and you can water it down. I didn't today, but if you need to, you can water it down in general. And I think for the white, I did about 2 coats on most areas, and I did it on the like icicle kind of trim along her headpiece, and then I also did this snowflake detail, and this was difficult. My line work is a little wobbly, which is fine. Don't look too close, you know, don't go grab a magnifying glass or anything, but I think the end results look sickening. They look so good. I'm so happy with how that turned out. And for the chest piece, I'm adding some white details as well. My motto with this project, at least like painting the accessories, is less is more. Like I think it's really easy to kind of get excited and be very heavy-handed with how many details you highlight and accentuate, but you know, I want to be very intentional with like which pieces I decide to give some little extra oomph. So that's what I did today. I'm doing these straps, and I think I might do some sections on the side of this chest plate as well. There was these like star looking pieces, and then I dot these little, well, dots. I dot these dots on this chest piece because I didn't want to do thin lines because it was already a bumpy texture. Like this bumpy dotted texture was already built into this chest plate, so I figured why not just dot it with some paint. It was very difficult, and don't look too closely. And then I'm also bringing out some details in her boots. I love these boots. For all 4 of the dolls in this Skulltimate Secrets series, their boots are some of the best pieces, definitely a highlight. And I'm bringing out some details on her heels. There's kind of, once again, that like icicle trim, and I love the snowflake details on the side. So for the snowflakes, the paint that I'm using has dried a little bit, so it's a tad bit tacky, and because of that, I'm kind of just gently gliding my paintbrush over the snowflakes, trying to bring out the mold that's already there in the plastic, you know, so it's not just one big blob of white paint. And I think the effect looks really good. I'm very proud of this. And yeah, just make sure your paint is a little tacky, a little dry. And I'm also going to add some silver details. Now, I know people love those chrome paint pens, and I do too, but one downside of those is it's a little bit harder to get like detailed work because, you know, it's kind of a chunky paint pen. So sometimes I still just like to rely on good old-fashioned silver paint. I painted the like ice pick that's part of her heel, and then I'm bringing out some of the details on the shoe. There's like a little letter A charm for Abbey, some like heart-shaped like key rings or something. So I'm just bringing out more details with some silver paint. And then I also decide to paint Abbey's nails. I love the Monster High dolls with the really nice hand molds with the long nails. I think like Venus has hands like this too, maybe Caddy, a lot of the werecats. So I'm painting them with just this white acrylic paint. Super easy, just 1 coat is all it takes, and I think it really elevates the project. I don't know, I love painting my Monster High dolls' nails. And then I'll also add some like glittery top coat later, which you will see. So after I got all the white paint said and done, I was like, you know what, this needs something more, because it's me and I want to be extra. So I'm taking some of that pearlizing medium as well as this folk art dragonfly glaze. This is the one that has kind of a blue finish, like a blue sparkle to it. And I mix the mixture, so it's kind of about like 50% of each. And I'm just going to add that over top anything that I painted white already. And this is kind of doing 2 things for me. It's going to help seal in that white paint as well, just give it a really nice, sparkly, shimmery finish, and it feels very wintry, very Abbey Bominable. And I'm also thinking, you know, like she's a pop star. This is a performance look. She wants to sparkle and glisten on stage. I even decided to add it over some of the plastic that I didn't paint over. So for instance, her crown has these like gemstones that are just molded in. So I figured, you know what, let's highlight those gemstones. There's also one towards the center of the headpiece. So I'm just trying to be, once again, very intentional and decisive with where I add this paint. So it's not, hurting your eyes. It's very subtle, yet still effective. And I think I did a pretty good job with it. And I like painting my dolls' accessories. It's super fun. I don't really ever have any remorse over it. Like, I never look back and think, you know what, I wish I didn't paint these. I don't know. I'm always just super happy and satisfied with the results. So I recommend it. It's super fun and it's very beginner friendly. Like, if rerooting is not your thing and that's too intimidating, this is a really fun way to kind of dip your toes into the field of customizing your dolls and just giving them your own personal flair and having fun with it and being creative. That's why I love dolls so much, is as much as it's fun to buy dolls and get a new doll and unbox it, to customize them and give them your own personal flair, there's just something about it that makes you feel closer to the doll, more attached to it, and it really brings out your creative and artistic side, which for me as an adult, I find that I have less opportunity to tap into that. You know, I work a 9-to-5 job kind of thing. So the fact that dolls let me like tap into that creative side, it's just very, very satisfying and pleasing to me. Okay, also, I'm trying something new here. I am doing some metal work, which I'm not really great at. So this is more so me showing you that I did it and less of like a tutorial kind of thing, because I'm just winging it. And I adjusted the length of the chain, measured it around her waist, and try to see if it sat nicely. And then I'm going to add some charms that spell out Abby's name. I thought it'd be really cute if each character in the series had like a matching chain, waist chain kind of thing that spelled out their name. Now Claudine, I don't know how I'm going to do that because her name's so long, but I'll figure it out. When we get to that project, I'll figure it out then. But for today, Abby's pretty easy. I'm just going to spell out Abbey, and I picked these little charms off of Amazon. They're pretty cheap, and I got them in gold and silver because Abbey and Draculaura are like silver toned, and then Cleo and Claudine are gold toned. And I think it looks okay. I'm not like super proud of this, but I wanted to try something new. Like I said, I'm always trying to explore different aspects of doll customizing and tapping into different creative elements. And this is still kind of new to me. I don't think I'm doing everything perfect or 100% right, but it's the effort that counts. So who knows, maybe in a couple months I'll get a lot better at this and, it'll look better. But for now, this is what it looks like. Abbey is all finished, and I'm so happy with how she turned out. So there are two Abbeys on screen. The Abbey on the left is the Rerooted Abbey that I did today. That is the Monster Mysteries doll. She has the new nylon hair and the customized accessories we gave her. And then on the right, this is just the core Abbey donning the second outfit. And she's a reroot that I did in Saran, just like in my own free time. So we have a nylon Abbey and a Saran Abbey, both custom reroots, and I really love both of them. It's also kind of funny how much taller this Abbey is because of these shoes. They add so much height, like even side by side, you can see the height difference. It's very obvious. But I love both of these Abbeys so much. So we're gonna talk about the changes that I made. First and foremost, my favorite change is the hair. This nylon hair is gorgeous. It is long, it is luscious. I did trim the ends just a little bit, but I kept it pretty long because I like long hair. That's what it looks like. There is the color. You can see there's a lot nicer movement to it. Oh, there's like a little chain hanging back there. Ignore that. But there is the hair. It is beautiful nylon hair. This is a custom color blend. So this is actually 4 colors. It's 2 shades of blue, 2 shades of white. Quite the task, but we did it, and I'm really proud of it. Like, I think it paid off. And for reference, here is her original hair. When you see them side by side, like, I think I did a pretty good job. It's pretty close. The tinsel's different just because I prefer this beaded tinsel versus like this tinsel right here. But I think I did a pretty good job. Like, they look so similar. So I'm really glad I kept this as a reference, just so I could compare and contrast. And there you can see up close, there are the white streaks that we gave her. You can see the tinsel all throughout her center part right there. And then there are her glittery horns. You really only see the little white bits right there, but if you kind of move some of the hair aside, as you see, You can see the rest of the glitter, and the sparkle is beautiful. This one I did a glossy top coat, so they have a beautiful sparkle to them, and I love those changes. I feel like it really makes this doll feel so much more elevated, and she needed a little bit of that care and attention because look at that face. This face is so good. Like next to the original Abbey face, come on, it is night and day. Like, I don't know, the original Abbey, her face just looks off, and this new one, it is just perfect. So I love this Skulltimate Secrets Abbey. It's just a shame that she was polypropylene. I try to be, glass half full because them being polypropylene gives me the opportunity to customize and craft and, tap into my artistic side. So I do spin something positive out of it despite the frustration that I feel. And I have to say, I love her hair. And then moving on to the other things that I customized, you can see her chest plate. There's some of the dotting details that I did. I also went over it with that iridescent shimmer top coat. There's a little bit of details on the side. You can't even really see those details, like you really can't see them, but they're there. And you can see some of the shimmer there. I think it looks really good. The white is nice, it's very subtle. And then her gloves, they're kind of getting washed out by these lights, but you can see some of the flocking right there. Oh, let's put on her headpiece because, come on, that's like, I also spent a lot of time customizing that. So I'm gonna brush her hair out so I can fix it. As you can see, I'm using a very wide tooth comb to brush through this tinsel. Oopsie, I don't wanna knock that Abbey down in the process. I'm just going to make sure it's flat before I put on the headpiece. I haven't even put on the headpiece yet since finishing it because I wanted to show off the hair first in the video. So I don't know how this is gonna look. I hope it looks good, so let's see. I just didn't want to because it has flocking, Okay, oh, there's like a little straggler right there. Okay, there she is with her headpiece. I love it. I feel like it completes the look. As I mentioned earlier, the flocking, even with two coats, it's a little, sparse in some areas, but I think it's a fun touch. And you can see the glitter horns, you can see the iridescent white details, and you can't really see the snowflake crown because she's too tall, but there it is. All in all, I'm really happy with this crown, like headpiece, headset situation. I think it looks really fun, and it kind of completes the look very nicely. I feel like her hair is giving me kind of like 70s vibes. I don't know why she's giving me that, but she's beautiful. Okay, next we also did her nails. So she's got her nails done, and then as you see, there's the waist chain situation. It's not the best, okay? It's not the best, but I'm learning and I'm trying new things. Sometimes, the letters aren't situated right, so I have to like fix them. But when she's on display, it'll be fine. I'll make sure that the letters are situated the right way. But yeah, it was fun. I think it adds a nice little detail, a nice little extra something, but it's a little finicky at times, and I tried my best. So I'm gonna give myself that. But you can see it spells out Abbey. There's the A. This B is backwards. Okay, yeah, once I situate it, you'll see the vision, but there's like a little chain in the back that I added. I'll show you right there. So I can kind of like tug on that to adjust the chain a little easier. See, I was innovating. I was thinking, okay, there you go. You see it? It spells out Abbey. So it's a cute little detail. I do like it, even if it's not perfect. Maybe I have to take off one of these chain links. It has 2 chain links, and that might be too much, I think. I'm not sure. And then lastly, her boots. There are the details. You can see the snowflakes, some of the silver paint on the chains right there, the A, and then the heels. So not a lot of paint details, but it's because, this was already so gorgeous and beautiful. I didn't feel like I needed to do too much, because it's already kind of busy. I do like the little icicle detail with the iridescence there. So all in all, I'm pretty proud of this project. It's very subtle, small changes, but I feel like they're really effective and intentional, which was my goal. And she is now stunning and beautiful and perfect. Like, this doll was my favorite from the series, so that's why I wanted to start on her first. I know everyone's different, sometimes you save your favorite for last. Not me. I wanted to address Abbey first and make sure that I could nail this project because she had the, most difficult hair I feel like that I was going to be able to achieve by getting this color. Because like I said, I don't always work with nylon, so I don't know, I was nervous that if I could nail this reroot, but I really, really feel like I did. And side by side, these two Abbeys are gorgeous. And especially with a character like Abbey, a lot of these new characters who don't have lots of dolls, this is only Abbey's second doll. I really wanted to do her justice because we don't have that many of this character. I want more Abbeys, so I really want to make sure the Abbeys I do have in my collection just feel very stellar and superb. Okay, well, that was a doozy. That was a long video, but thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I just want to say a real quick thank you to anyone who has subscribed to my channel lately. I really have so much fun making videos, and I really appreciate all the support and the positive comments. I love commenting back with all of you and like responding and having conversations. It's really so fun, and I don't know, maybe it's a testament to the space I've created here, but I really feel like my comment section is always pretty positive. Like, I don't really get a lot of hate, and you know, knock on wood, I don't want to start getting hate. Like, please don't comment anything hateful or rude and nasty and mean, but I feel like I just always have the nicest people commenting on my videos. And you know, sometimes on social media you hear horror stories about just like, you know, rude, nasty things happening, and that's not happening over here on this channel. So I'm happy about that. Thank you so much for being kind and gentle with me. I really appreciate it. I am a sensitive soul beneath that tough exterior, you know? Okay, well, comment down below who you want me to see customized next from Monster Mysteries. We still have to do Cleo, Claudine, and Draculaura, so let me know who you want to see next. They're gonna get done eventually, so I will do all of them. But if there's one in particular that y'all are just itching to see, let me know, because I'll do them instead. Right now, I'll let you know, my heart is leaning towards Cleo, but really, I'm impartial. I could do any of them next and be happy. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, I have so much fun making videos and sharing my doll collecting, customizing journey here on YouTube. My name is Eli, and this is my channel, Draculasia. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.